Hi everybody, you're going to have to listen to the rain out here. It's been raining, so it's too dark in my house to even dream of having anything in there. It's not as cold as it was, so at least I'm not going to really freeze to death. I wanted to come on here and say, if you haven't seen the community section, I posted a poll there, and I'd like you to participate in the poll. There's going to be a giveaway, and I want you to choose which prize you think I should offer. Now, the giveaway is going to be open only to subscribers. I'm not trying to get more subscribers. If you want to subscribe, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But I only want subscribers to enter this. And I'll ask a question in the. You put something in your entry in the comment section when I do this, and I'm going to have a random YouTube comment picker of some sort. But the poll was, which do you want to be the prize? The Afghan that I posted in the November 27th video at about the 35-minute mark. And I have it out here. I'll show it to you a little bit in person. I was trying to remember what yarn I used in that. And I think it was probably a combination of Red Heart with Love, which was my favorite then, and maybe some Red Heart Super Saver. I think probably a little bit, but it feels, some of the yarn has a little bit of a sheen on it, and I know that's not usually Super Saver. That's usually the Red Heart with Love. It's a little softer look to it. So it's probably a combination of yarns to get the colors I wanted. But you need to choose in your poll between winning this Afghan or me getting together a mystery box of yarn and crochet hooks and such. Because I have some extra metal ones that I don't really use that much. Like I gave to my son's girlfriend. And just mainly yarn though, and some will be full skeins of yarn. Some might be some I've used a little bit out of and decided I didn't need any more of it or whatever, but there'd be plenty to make a nice project with, or two, or three. Depends on if you make a lot of hats, a lot of beanies, you can make a ton. But I'll just put something in there that I'm probably not going to use myself. And like I said, one or two maybe full skeins. It's not going to be little balls of, little scraps. It's going to be, if there's a good amount left on the skein, I might send that along. But you need to choose between those two. And I may give the person who wins the option that if they really didn't want what I offered, they could actually have the other. And it needs to be limited to people in the United States. But I'm not going. Don't enter now. Just go and do the poll and tell me which one you would rather win if this was you, if you were entering the giveaway. And let me show you. I've got to fold it up. I don't want to really unfold it because it's kind of big. This particular this is the center of it right here. But let me get it up to. Let me see if I can get this here. It's a granny type. And this is the center. The colors are gorgeous. I mean, it's got teals, all kinds of different teals, and grays, and off-whites, cream colors, and the purple for accent. And so there's that. And the picture is on that video on the bed. So you'll know it's a pretty good size. Oh, yikes. I threw that in the tub and it made the whole table shake. And I wanted to show you something. Now, before I get into what the actual subject of the video is, I wanted to show you something I'm doing currently. This pattern comes from Crystal at Bag a Day Crochet, and I was so impressed with the way it looked and the texture of it, I thought I was going to decide to do a lap quilt with it. And this is going to be a lap quilt. This is not going to be a giant quilt, okay? Because this is a very big yarn eater, and I'm not sure how the colors are going to go because I don't often work in these colors, so I don't have a lot that really I want. But here it's her pattern called Old Theater Seats. That's what it's called. And this is the first 6 or 7 rows of this. I want you to see the texture of this. Look at this. Now let me show you the top of it when you look at the texture. See that? It really stands up. It's got a lot of texture to it. Old Theater Seats. Isn't that neat? That is such a beautiful pattern. And it's really easy to do. Now I don't know if she has it in her Etsy shop. I just followed along with the video and I wrote down the steps. And then I printed out the piece of paper and I took it back and sat down with it. But yeah, this is just, I mean, the texture on this is gorgeous. Just look at that, how raised up that is on the front. I love shells. Shells is one of my favorite motifs for crochet. So anyway, this is being done. This color right here, the darker blue, let me get this turned around the right way. The darker blue right here is from, I think it's discontinued. It's from Hirschner's in their called Antiquity line of yarns. I don't think they have this color anymore. It's called Indigo something, or Vintage Indigo. And then this color here, the lighter blue, is also a Hirschner's. It's a Hirschner's worsted 8 called Heathers, because it has a heathered finish. It's not like solid. And it's lighter teal-ish blue. I wanted to do it in, I was kind of thinking of Ocean and Waves with blues and greens, kind of relaxing colors, but the greens I have just don't work, and so I'm not sure where I'm going with this exactly. But I thought I would show you that. What I want to talk about today, for I don't want to take up too much more time with this, and I show you crochet because this is such a relaxing thing, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money. Yes, you can spend a ton of money if you're going to buy specialty yarns. These, I use acrylics. I use premium acrylics almost all the time. Yes, some of them have a little bit of wool every once in a while. Some might have some cotton, being cotton blend. But generally, I use decent acrylics. Acrylics are not like your grandmother had. These acrylics can be super soft. But even Red Heart Super Saver, after you wash it with softener, it actually gets softer. This particular one is made with all machine washable, machine dryable. You can do that in the machine. I would do it on gentle and with no other clothes in there with it, because then you'll pull at the crochet there. So it can be washed in the machine. I don't really like specialty yarns because that takes specialty treatment. And unless I'm going to do just a little beanie that I can hand wash in a dish pan or something, I don't want to do that. I don't want to hand. You imagine trying to hand wash an Afghan? No, I'm not going to do that. So anyway, I do that because in our day and time we're living in, we really need to relax. We need to de-stress. People are so tied up in knots. It's just insane. And there's also the thing about changing your mindset. I've often said, there's no hope for this country, it's gone. But you have to have, if you have the mindset that there is no hope, you will give up. That is the same with anything. If you have the mindset of, there's no hope, it's useless, I can't do it, it's just, why start? That right there is a defeatist attitude, and that is the I can't attitude, and I don't appreciate that from anybody. As much as we do on this homestead, when we could sit down in front of the television and not do anything because my husband's in chronic pain, and yet we still grow vegetables. We don't eat a lot of them, but we grow them and can them. The peas are what we grow, okay? Basically peas, and in the summer we'll grow bell peppers so we can chop them up in our hamburger dishes, and we will grow tomatoes so I can have them chopped up on my hamburger dishes or whatever. But I just want to make sure somebody wasn't coming up here. Every time I come out here, somebody's going up down the street. That didn't used to happen. We don't grow a lot of vegetables, but we still manage. And we manage the chickens. And we manage to keep the jungle away from the door. If you don't, it'll overgrow everything. So we manage it. Sometimes it's barely managing, but we manage it. But if we sit down and say, I can't do it, it's just not going to get done. People say, well, you can hire people. You ever tried to hire people in a rural area? Sometimes you can find a good worker, and sometimes nobody wants to do the work, even for tax-free cash. That just blows my mind. But that's the way it is now. But your mindset is very important. Yeah, the government and Big Pharma are in an evil relationship, evil alliance to do things to our citizens that I can't even imagine, because the citizens put these people there. The citizens put these people in office, and then they forget all about how they got there, and they start doing their wheeling and dealing behind the scenes. Which is why I've written my representative, which I thought, well, he seems like a good guy. I've gotten his newsletters, and he's a retired military guy, I think, retired Navy, and you ask for a response for a couple. It's been weeks, and I've asked for responses on 2 things I've written him. I've written him about 5. And no response. So, did I really expect to get one? Well, you know what? Back when Doug Collins was in office, we got responses. In fact, Doug Collins was instrumental in helping my husband get a disability rating when they tried to take it away from him. Doug Collins got involved and actually did something. I haven't seen anything happen there since Doug Collins left. So some people could take a lesson from him. But you have this big, you gotta, in a place where everything's out to get you and out to kill, literally kill you, in my opinion. They're trying to kill you. They're pushing this, this little injection thing, in spite of the fact that there's so much evidence out there that of the dangers and the damage it does, and that it doesn't even fix what it was designed to fix. Supposedly was designed to fix. I don't necessarily think that was the case. That's just my personal opinion. You know, I'll sticking to it. But in a place where everything's trying to kill you, and everybody's trying to track you, I heard that somebody, my husband said he saw this you know, the scorecard thing. It's a survey type thing, a study, a research survey kind of bunch. He said he read where every time you log into Windows 11 on your computer, which is the current Windows version, it's tracking you, every keystroke you make. And there's, you know, firewalls supposedly that you can get, and they'll keep them out and all that stuff. But in a place where everybody's trying to kill you and they're trying to get into your business every time that turns around, and what you eat, what you drink, what you put into your body, what you keep out of your body, the only solution to that is, while trying to fix the system in any avenue that we have left to us, voting is still there. Even after what happened the last time. What if nobody did? What if we didn't? What if the people who didn't want this bunch in charge, we decided that it was over and we didn't vote? We didn't do anything. That's just giving it to them wrapped in a silver ribbon. We don't want that. We don't want Marxists taking over. They kill people. We don't want them taking over. They orchestrated the January 6th debacle. I saw footage this morning that I'd never even seen before, where cops, when they were called in there and get there immediately, they were talking amongst themselves, the Capitol Police, and some of them were, and some of them said, "We were set up. This is a setup. We're set up to hurt innocent people." That's what he said. Caught the body cam. I watched a Capitol cop. An older lady was up several steps, about 4 steps up, and she was standing there with a flag, probably a MAGA flag. I forgot what it was, you know. But she was standing there with a flag, just standing there. The cop came up and shoved her down 4 steps. I mean, literally, she flew off the steps. An old lady. And then she managed to get up with people's help, and the crowd was enraged, which was the point. And she got up and she walked back up the steps, and she just stood there. And he did it again. Guy shoved somebody off the balcony, 20 feet. He came away on a stretcher. They threw the smoke canister things in the crowd, just threw them like this. I'm thinking, how do you know it's not going to hit somebody in the head? Aren't you supposed to roll those things? No, they were tossing them over their heads to come down on innocent people. So, you know, when you're living in a world like that, your mindset is so important. You've got to disconnect from this evil system, the broken system, as much as you can by growing your own food, taking care of your own energy needs, making sure you don't get into debt. Don't buy things that are frivolous. Instead of symbols. That's a dead end too. If you look successful, you'll be successful as a bunch of hooey. You'll be in debt, and you'll have something that costs a ton to repair. But you've got to disconnect as much as you can and get a hold of your consumerism, because that's out of control in a lot of places, a lot of ways, places in your life. Maybe not your life, because some of you are really on the money. Some of you've got it covered. And I know you do it because I read your comments and the replies to my comments. And I'm so proud of the people who subscribe to this channel, because you're doing something for yourself. You're not depending on somebody else to do it for you. The self-sufficient mindset is so important in a world like we live in now. I watched Bill Gates is buying up farmland everywhere, and it showed a map with the states he's bought chunks of farmland. My state's one of them, unfortunately. My grandfather had a 50-acre farm in western Georgia, near the Alabama line, and so there's a lot of farmland here. And Gates has bought up a lot of it. And I was watching an interview with it's a guy he's head of the Black Farmers Association, Black Farmers of America Association, I think is what it's called. I've heard him speak before. He wears a cowboy hat. And he said, there are people out there who are driving these fancy cars and living in giant houses, and he said, you need to be buying up the farmland, and you need to be planting your food, and you need to be growing your own food. These people maybe I can't afford to buy 5 acres of rich farmland. Now I've got almost 5.5 acres here, but that was purchased in 1990. Well, gosh, 2002, 1990, 2002. Before the 2008 craziness hit. Now we got out of that, but we're worse. I believe on the world stage and in other areas, we're worse off now than we were then. That's just my perception of it. But the head of the Black Farmers of America, I forgot, I couldn't tell you his name, I'm sorry. He was saying, you could easily buy 5 acres of land at $20,000 an acre. And he said, you could live sustainably. You could get people to grow food on it. You've got to disconnect from the food system and take care of your own food security. That's why I have chickens, despite the fact that some days they make me want to choke them. This bunch does. My other bunches were great. But this little young bunch that I'm depending on for most of my eggs now, you know how crazy they are. Most of them. You've got to disconnect from the system, all the while not giving up on trying to keep our country free, because there's coming a time when they're going to say you can't grow your own food at all. Now, some subdivisions already say that. If you want to take out the wasteful grass lawn that uses so much water and that you use weed killers on, kill the weeds that are actually medicinal herbs, those weeds, they will cite you. The homeowners association will cite you and fine you for taking out grass to put in raised beds of food. Think about it on a bigger scale. Whole counties making ordinances that you're not allowed to grow food in your backyard because it's not safe. Oh, honey, it's so much safer than what they're giving you in the store. So much safer. But you need to have the right mindset. And mindset's really important. I had the carnivore discussion with my friend Rachel, and I know some people really enjoyed that interview. I hope to do more with her in the future on a Zoom call about any subject, really. She's a very smart woman. But, some people use the term, and talking about carnivore, how they allow themselves cheat days, okay? That's a term that we use. People use that term to do with eating something that is not on their plan, okay? Well, first, don't ever think of carnivore or ketovore or ketogenic as a diet. Now, it can be a junky diet. Even ketogenic can be a junky diet. If you buy all those snacks in the store or you make up snacks that are called keto-friendly, you need to stick with the real food, the whole foods. Especially if you grow your own vegetables, at least you know what's not in them. Yes, it's full of oxalates that can cause crystals in your body, and eating plants is not optimal, not on a regular basis. But at least you know what's in it when you grow it and what's not in it when you grow it. So let's say with my eggs. I know that they haven't been given certain things. My eggs are pure eggs. I don't use chemical pesticides anywhere on this property. The only fertilizer I use is their manure that composts in the shavings and causes the worms underneath to make a rich black dirt. You've got to take care of your own health and be your own advocate, but I think saying cheat days, technically, even though it's a term that's accepted to say, like, I was carnivore and I ate, in the case of Dante Ferrigno and Ferrigno Freedom, which is a great channel, I recommend him, he said at Thanksgiving, he'd been great for a year on his pure carnivore. Basically, the lion way of eating, which is just purely ruminant meat, salt and water. He had pie. He had several pieces of pie on that one day. A week later, he was still feeling sluggish because the sugar literally poisons your mitochondria. So he said he had a cheat day. Okay, he said I can one cheat. Well, that's the mindset I'm wanting to avoid is that eating something off of the strict carnivore or strict ketovore or whatever is a cheat. It is eating a food that is definitely not optimal. But see, the word cheat puts you back into the diet for weight loss. The temporary diets. Oh, I'm on my diet and I cheated last week. Because they don't intend to stay on this for life. But see, this is a life way of eating. I mean, we're all the same species. I think that there are minor differences in that some people have developed autoimmune disorders and things like that, and they might not be able to eat some foods, or they have to be more strict than others. But the cheat days, we're human beings. We're all the same species. We may be different brands. It's like, ostrich, chicken, hummingbird, the hawks in the air. They're all avian species. Yeah, they're different brands of, emus. They're all avians, okay? They're all avian species. So a species-appropriate diet is what your body can thrive on. And even when you're eating what you think is a pure food, like, I'll just get a chicken patty at Wendy's, and I'll just throw away the bun. That's not all chicken. I think it was Wendy's and Burger King or other places that were, the testing showed that chicken was not really 100% white meat chicken. There was 100% white meat chicken, plus some bizarre additives that, even red seaweed and even some had sawdust and stuff in it, just fillers, to save money, but charge you for actual meat. You don't even know what you're eating, but the term cheat day, or the term cheating on my diet, implies that this is just a diet. This is a weight loss diet, which implies temporary, and that something you go on and then you go off of when you've achieved your goal. Well, that's not what this is. It's not cheating. It's maybe eating something that's not optimal for your health. And you can't keep doing that, or you start to see the disadvantages of it. It shows up in your body. After you've been eating right for a while and your body's all regulated, and you throw something in there it's not used to, it's going to let you know in some horrible ways, let me tell you. So let's don't think of it as cheating. That's not cheating. You're not cheating on a test. Nobody's testing you. This is all on you. This is all for you and on you. You're not cheating on a test that somebody's given you. And if you do eat something that is not optimal, that you, like Dante did on Thanksgiving, he ate some pie, you know what you do? You don't flagellate yourself. You don't beat your head against the wall and go, well, I'm just no good. I just knew I couldn't do this. No, you just say, okay, well, that's over. I can't uneat it, so it's going to get out of my body eventually, and then the effects of it are going to leave my body eventually if I get back on track and just start eating a proper human diet again. So everything is about mindset. Yes, the country's faltering and failing, but are we going to just quit because of that? We do need to separate ourselves from the system as much as possible. The big pharma controlled system of our government, unfortunately, the elitist, the elites, they got all kinds of plans. Plan after plan after plan. There's so many layers of plans that they've been doing for decades. We don't even know about half of them, I'm sure. But does it make any difference what they're doing? If we're doing what we should do, and we're disconnected where what they do doesn't really affect us, that's the only way to fight that, is we have to get our mindset that this is my survival. I don't care what they're doing. This is my survival. The only time it's going to impact me is if somebody, some government official, comes down my driveway armed and says, we're taking out this garden. You can't do this garden anymore. Then that is what the Second Amendment is for. That is absolutely what it was created for. Our forefathers were the smartest men. Yeah, they were involved in some stuff I didn't particularly approve of. But as far as understanding human nature, this Constitution was written with human nature in mind and the nature of the corruption of power. It's just such a wonderful document. The ones that people are spitting on and using for toilet paper and that kind of thing, that beautiful document that's so perfectly provided for what was going to happen in our government because of human nature. You can't do anything about it. Your mindset. It's like, my mind is on track, this is what I'm doing. And until somebody comes on sets foot within my perimeter to stop me from doing it, we're going to continue to keep ourselves fed and with heat and water. And, whatever happens, happens. But my mindset is survival mindset. And it's not just survival, it's thriving. What's the, think of the word, what is it? Thrivable? I don't even, it's like not survivable, but thrivable. Yeah, I don't know, is that a word? I don't think it's a word. So in any case, mindset is so important. Get your mind straight. If you want to get out of debt, you got to get your mind straight. You cannot go and spend $6 on a cup of coffee. Anytime during a month. You take that cash and don't use a debit, like I've said before, don't use a debit card. Make sure that little incidentals are always paid with cash. Always. That way when you run out of cash for that particular expense, you don't get any more. And if you don't spend any of it, you take all that cash and put it on something else you want more, or something else that's more important. Like putting up a solar system. You need a charge controller, and you need an inverter, and you need batteries, and you need the solar panels. And you need to connect all that up and have a place where the solar panels can get sun. I think our whole system, before we got the extra inverter, I think the whole system was like $1,000. Most people can't come up with $1,000. After years of good decisions, trust me, that will not be a bad expense. You go, oh, my homeowner's insurance came up, it's like $1,500. Okay, let's take it out. We'll just take it out of the checking account or savings or whatever, and we'll go pay it. It's so, or if you have to use credit cards, use them wisely. I've got only one, and it's 1.5% cash back on all purchases. I don't care about the dining and travel ones because I don't go eat out if I don't travel. So it does me no good. I don't care if they're 5%. It does me no good because I don't do any of those things. Get it so you get the 1.5% cash back, which is like an extra discount on what you buy. But then pay it off every month. So you've got to have the right mindset to survive in what is going on now and what's coming. Trust me, there are many more people like us than like them. They just scream the loudest. Is this the case of the squeaky wheel gets the grease? Well, they're getting greased up really good, but we're getting tired of the squeaky wheel. Listen to that. Don't you get tired of listening to something squeak? I can't stand it. It drives me insane. You're going to have to change that tire or throw that thing off a cliff. One or the other. Talking about the wagon with the squeaky wheel. So anyway, that's all I want to do. Please go to the community section, check the poll, and vote in there. It's only going to be open to people who are subscribers. I mean, I'm not going to, I know when people have giveaways, a bunch of people come in that aren't subscribers. I'm going to have a question in there, or 2 questions that you'll need to answer in the giveaway comment section. And it'll probably be next week. So I'm going to leave that poll open for the weekend and see what we get. Okay, see what people would like to win. All right. So I'm going to go. It's been too long now. Here we are, almost getting close to 30 minutes maybe. It's cold and it's damp out here. My hands are frozen. My hands are frozen. Not because it's cold, but because it's so damp, So I'm going to go in and work on my project, my old theater seats project, and we'll catch you later. Just hope you like that Afghan. Somebody said it's kind of like they decorate in coastal colors because she lives near the coast, and basically these are nice. I mean, you got the grays and the teal blues, the ocean colors and the sky colors, and a little bit of purple for punch. So catch y'all later. Have a good weekend. Bye.